Do you see the expectations of a product manager in terms of what those KPIs and goals and success criteria are at a startup versus a big company? How are those different?
I would say that in a smaller organization, the KPIs and the OKRs you're targeting are nascent, right, in nature. You're just starting out, you're just starting to build, and so you're really setting the anchors and the foundations for how you're going to look and measure your business over time. And so not only do you have a lot of influence there, you also do a lot of trial and error. In larger organizations, I'd like to think, and in my experience, it's fairly true that these metrics have already been established and the organization's matured. And your role there is less definition and more depth, right? Creating depth and understanding at what drives each OKR and adding data to that and finding ways to move the needle there. And so, yeah, the challenges are certainly different in those two kind of environments.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends. Because I have been in large organizations like in Omnitrax where, you know, I was the one who was assigned with this product suite, right, or product line. And from there, I discovered, oh, there's a whole need for a gigantic, you know, re-architecture on the platform. And there's so much more that we could do. And at that point, we had a team that became kind of like on startup mode. And our KPIs were very different from what the existing company was, even though it was a 40-year-old company. Now, me working in startups, which that's been my role, to his point, yes, there is a lot more flexibility. At the same time, it truly depends on the leadership of the company. It also depends on the experience of its founders. I have found founders that, you know, what is a product or a company? You found a gap in the market and you happen to be the first one to put the money into it, or you're running along with other people who have found the same gap and either have the resources or the capacity to go run after it. Because I'm pretty sure many of us have had ideas and found gaps, but either you weren't in the position or you didn't have the resources to run after it, right? So you're like, somebody else will beat me to it, right? How many of us would have had an Uber, right? Or a Twitter or something like it. But the reality is some of these people who come up with ideas may actually come from a completely different field. I've worked with people who are from the legal fields, creating technological companies, and their KPIs are very different from somebody who's had 30, 40 years in financial investments and is a stakeholder, right? So I think it would vary. Us as product managers, we're kind of it. We're kind of holding as like mini CEOs, as they call us, the ground on helping them define what are the KPIs we should be looking for and how do we model our product? What do we think should be the right metrics when you're releasing it? And I think there's always opportunity to grow, even like I said in my example with a 40-year-old company.
Oh yeah, those are probably the best ones to innovate at, right?
Oh my gosh, that is like the Christmas present, like right in summer. It's like, what? I get to work on a brand new project in this 40-year-old company? Are you kidding me? That's an opportunity of a lifetime. You have to have a little bit of rebel inside of you, right? To challenge convention and be an thinker. Right? That's what product being called passionate, right? Or bold, or it's part of it. It comes with a job, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts is having the bandwidth to, and it's actually in my job description, which is great. Like your job is to challenge conventional wisdom, Raz, right? Like that's what it's incredible. I love that part. I love that part of it. What comes with it is the frustration of encountering all the traditional aspects of whatever industry you're in, and then trying to change the direction of that, right? Change the trajectory of it. And it's oftentimes because it's a large industry. Financial services obviously is a big one. There's a lot of industries out there like that really desperately need change and evolution. It's like turning an aircraft carrier, right? It's going to take a long time. It's going to be a big arc, right? But yeah, being a force behind that is really exciting, you know.